The Finke Desert race is Australia's toughest off-road race. It's brutal, it's dusty, and more importantly, it's incredibly remote. And it was our job to turn this wild off-road chase into a television program, and that presented a lot of challenges. All our crew are based in Sydney, so we needed to fly all our people, all our equipment to Alice Springs, then be able to get everybody to Finke at the finish line, and then essentially back to Sydney. All this within 4 days.
Center clear for takeoff, Julie, Mike, uniform.
Covering Finke Desert race was always going to be quite difficult unless we had the right equipment and the right people on the job.
We looked at cars, we looked at helicopters, but because we had so many people and so much gear to take, there was only one thing that was going to work for us, and that was the Pilatus PC-12.
So Steve, what is it that makes the Pilatus PC-12 so great? Can you run us through some of the basic facts and stats?
Probably its short field capabilities is probably one of its greatest advantages. In and out of 600 metre airstrips, dirt, gravel, sand. As long as it looks like a runway, we can land on it more or less.
So you can fit more in it, you can fly to remote locations, you can land it where you want, you can get there quickly.
Yep, and you get there in pressurised air conditioned comfort.
Perfect.
Welcome to Finke.
That's the first time I've ever landed on a dirt runway before. PC-12 loves it. No problem.
I'd never covered the Finke Desert race before, so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. So when we rocked up early in the morning to get the jump, which everyone had been talking about, I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. When it did unfold, I couldn't believe it. Finke is always tough on your gear, and if anything should happen to that gear, it was great to know that we had the Pilatus PC-12 there to back us up, to get us out of any trouble.
The final day of the Finke Desert race, the cars start in Finke, race back to Alice Springs. It starts at dawn, beautiful frosty conditions, so there's lots of magical images that we need to capture, so we need to be there before the sun comes up, before the start of the race. We have so much equipment, so many people, so much gear to bring with us, so camping there is not an option. So how do you get from Alice Springs to Finke before dawn? Well, we flew the Pilatus PC-12 there. I'd say the Finke Desert race is tough, historic, dusty.
Dust, distance and dust. It's hard on the body, hard on the camera, hard on all the gear. Flying the Pilatus PC-12, you felt like a rock star. You could fly where you wanted, when you wanted.